Hello friends, how are you? Myself Virendra Kumar और this is my Hirak IAS YouTube चैनल। फ्रेंड्स, यदि आप इस चैनल पर आए हैं तो निश्चित रूप से आप या तो यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे होंगे या कोई गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज की तैयारी कर रहे होंगे। तो हम जो है आप लोगों को इस YouTube चैनल हिरक IAS पर वेलकम करते हैं। और जो है आज हम एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक के ऊपर डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं जो कि न्यूज़ में रिसेंट न्यूज़ में आया हुआ है। आप तो हम लोग जो है आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट राखी गढ़ी के बारे में बात करेंगे। राखीगढ़ी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट for the examination point of view since it is recently in news. So firstly we'll know about the Rakhigarhi, an archaeological site in the Hisar district of Haryana. So friends, let's know about something about the Rakhigarhi. Rakhigarhi is a village and it is an archaeological site in the Hisar district of northern Indian state of the Haryana. It is about 152 km northwest of the Delhi. It is located in the Garhi river plain basin, some 27 km from the seasonal Garhi river, and it belongs to the Indus Valley civilization. The importance lies here because of this site is related to the civilization, that's why it is important. This Indus Valley civilization being part of the pre-Harappan and early Harappan and the mature phase of the Indus Valley civilization, it was among the largest settlements of the ancient civilization, and most scholars believe it to have been between 80 hectares in the area. Other related excavation sites in the area are Mithal and smaller site Lohari Ragho, which are still awaiting excavation. This site excavation started in early 1960s. So why it is news recently we'll discuss. DNA test by the scholars Sinde and the team on a single skeleton found in the excavation site did not include any traces of steppe ancestry in line with the Aryan migration theory. So लोग कहते हैं कि जो है ये जो साइट जो है इंडिकेट करती है आर्यन माइग्रेशन के बारे में, लेकिन आज जो रिसेंट में जो न्यूज आया है वो कुछ अलग ही कह रहा है। इसलिए ये हमने ये टॉपिक उठाया है ताकि जो है हम उसको जान सकें, ताकि जो है हम अपने हिस्ट्री को रिवाइज कर सकें, समझ सकें। ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, एंड दिस इज द हरियाणा स्टेट एंड दिस साइट लाइज हियर, यू कैन सी on the map of the Haryana. So site, size and number of mounds here. Most scholars including Gregory and Purcell, Jonathan Mark and Raymond etc. believe Rakhigarhi to have been between 80 hectares and 100 hectares areas. According to Nath et al., archaeological remains at Rakhigarhi extend over a radius of about 300 hectares, that is equal to 3.0 square kilometer, encompassing a set of 7 mounds. So total mounds here is 7. This may be asked in the question examination paper that how many total mounds are there in the Rakhigarhi excavation site. So of which 1 to 5 are integrated while a few are removed from each other. So mounds are numbered following the naming convention of this RGRX. So friends, अब आप देख सकते हैं कि जो है this Rakhigarhi comes in the news recently and why it is important for us. The titles says that the 4600 years old woman from Rakhigarhi, that means the after DNA study tell us that this skeleton is 4600 years old. दोस्तों आपको पता है कि हम जो है डीएनए टेस्ट से किसी भी चीज की एज पता कर सकते हैं, कितना वो पुराना है, कितनी उसकी उम्र हो चुकी है. So DNA test study of a skeleton from the archaeological excavation site in Haryana has opened a Pandora box on genomics, history, archaeology and linguistics. So that means this information got through the DNA study changes the genomics, history and archaeology and linguistic information about this Rakhigarhi and the related civilization. The findings, which will be in a school textbook, that have reignited the Aryan questions and opened a new frontier on whether the Harappan and Vedic cultures are synonymous or not. So these findings is here presented by the Sripadna Chakravarti. I am dictating that once. So this is an excavated house dating to the mature Harappan period in Rakhigarhi, Haryana, roughly 150 km from Delhi. As I told you, the national capital down the Delhi-Sirsa highway. Two villages of Rakhi Sahpur and Rakhi Khas in Haryana's Hisar district. That village is connected with the dusty roads, narrow dusty roads, and that is the nature of our villages. So Mount 7 number of the Rakhigarhi after excavation has been identified as a burial plot from which 56 skeletons were recovered. So important here is that after excavation this Mount 7, 56 skeletons were recovered from the site, and of these one of the skeleton related to a woman found that this is 4600 years old and has created a buzz among those who work in the history, anthropology, genomics and linguistics. That means this information that the skeleton is so much old, 4600-year-olds, and what information we had earlier is going to be changed, can be altered with the help of this information. The DNA analysis of the skeleton says the individual we sequenced fits as a mixture of people related to ancient Iranians. So हमने जो इंफॉर्मेशन डीएनए एनालिसिस से मिला है उससे पता चलता है कि जो इंडिविजुअल है हमने जो सीक्वेंस उसका फाइंड किया है वो किस में फिट हो रहा है, मिक्सचर ऑफ पीपल रिलेटेड टू एंशिएंट इरानियंस. मतलब ये मिक्सचर है, जो भी इसका जेनेटिक्स है उस वुमेन का वो कोई सिंगल नहीं है, सिंगल जेनेटिक्स नहीं है. ये जो है मिक्सचर है किसका किसका, एंशिएंट इरानियंस and the Southeast Asian hunter-gatherers. As per the cell, it also says that there was no steppe pastoral gene in the Rakhigarhi woman. So दोस्तों आप लोगों को ये पहले मैंने बताया जो इंफॉर्मेशन पहले थी कि जो है हमारे राखीगढ़ी जो है पेस्टोरल जीन से रिलेटेड है, हमारा जो है स्टेपी जो है एंसेस्ट्री है. लेकिन जो ये अभी अभी इंफॉर्मेशन जो आई है रिलेटेड रिसेंट इंफॉर्मेशन आई है उसके हिसाब से देयर इज नो लिंक, देयर इज नो स्टेपी पेस्टोरल जीन फाउंड इन द राखीगढ़ी वुमेन. So this is the revolutionary information we got from the DNA analysis of the 4600-year-old skeleton. The word Aryan has been interchangeably used for the steppe pastoralists. So हम लोग जो है पहले जो आर्यन को स्टेपी पेस्टोरलिस्ट से जोड़ते थे देखा जाता है. And since we can't say any time frame, though to avoid racial connotation, many scholars now prefer to use the term Indo-Aryan for this group of people. This finding has found the debate on the so-called Aryan migration to India, part of the history books of many the nations of India. तो इस इंफॉर्मेशन ने, इस न्यूज ने एक डिबेट क्रिएट कर दिया है कि जो क्या अभी हम लोग जो कहते थे कि आर्यन माइग्रेट किए करके इंडिया आए थे, और हमारी एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री की बुक्स में ये पढ़ाया जाता है. सो इस इंफॉर्मेशन की आने के बाद हमारी एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री की बुक्स जो है इज गोइंग टू बी चेंज सून इन द कमिंग academic session. Quickly, the body that oversees educational aids, that is nothing but the NCERT, sent out a document to incorporate the recent development in the next academic year's class 12 history textbook theme in India history part 1 under the chapter bricks, beads and bones, the Harappan civilization. So this chapter is going to be updated after incorporating the new developments related to the Rakhigarhi civilization. The DNA of the Harappans has continued till today and majority of the South Asian population appear to be their descendants. तो आप देख सकते हैं कि जो हरप्पन का जो DNA है आज तक कंटिन्यू है, वो चलता आ रहा है. एंड मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द साउथ एशियन पॉपुलेशन अपीयर टू बी देयर. जो हमारा साउथ एशियन पॉपुलेशन है वो जो है इनके हरप्पन के क्या है, डिसेंडेंट्स हैं. Due to the trade and cultural contacts of the Harappans with distant regions, there is a mixture of genes in small quantities. और ऐसा क्यों हुआ, ये हमें क्यों इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है कि जो है हरप्पन्स का जीन जो है कंटिन्यू हो रहा है, क्यों इतना वाइड स्प्रेड हुआ? क्योंकि those people were related to the trade and cultural contacts. ठीक है, इसकी वजह से इनके जो है जीन के मिक्सचर जो है अभी मिलते रहते हैं. The continuity without any break in genetic history as well as cultural history rules out large scale immigration of the so-called Aryans. तो इससे ये जो हम लोग माइग्रेशन की बात कर रहे थे कि जो है आर्यंस जो है माइग्रेट करके आए हैं, इसका जो है क्लियर हो गया कि भाई ऐसा कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है जो पहले हम लोग मानते थे. हिस्ट्री बुक में लिखा था कि the continuity without any break in genetic history as well as cultural history rules out large scale immigration. कोई माइग्रेशन नहीं हुआ, इससे पता चलता है. ठीक है, there is a difference of opinion among scientists with one set associated with the project saying that the skeleton does indeed represent a continuity in history. So आपको ये पता है, हो रहा है कि जो है डीएनए के एनालिसिस से जो इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है क्या कि जो प्रोजेक्ट सेइंग दैट skeleton does indeed represent a continuity in history, meaning that the Harappan and Vedic cultures were both indigenous and not alien. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि जो है जो आर्यन जो है बाहर से आए थे, ये ऑलरेडी जो है ये प्रेजेंट थे एज ए इंडिजिनस. ये दोनों क्या है, हरप्पन एंड वैदिक कल्चर क्या है, कोई बाहर से नहीं है, यहीं के हैं. क्योंकि ये इतनी पुरानी जो सिविलाइजेशन मिली है 4600 ईयर्स ओल्ड, तो वो पर इतनी पुरानी है तो फिर माइग्रेट कहां से हुई? ठीक है ना. तो another set of historians says that the Harappan civilization and those who wrote the Vedas were two different people. So there is controversy among the thoughts of the historians. ASI and ground archaeological survey of India का क्या रोल है, क्या उसका कहना है, देखते हैं. The findings were first published in 2 papers in 2019, one in the peer reviewed journal Cell. हमने जो इंफॉर्मेशन अभी दी वो वहीं से उठाया गया है, सेल से. ठीक है. एंड एंशिएंट हरप्पन जीनोम लैक्स एंसेस्ट्री फ्रॉम स्टेपी पेस्टोरलिस्ट्स और इरानियन फार्मर्स. दैट वाज द टाइटल ऑफ द जर्नल, co-authored by 28 scientists and other formation of human populations in South and Central Asia in Science, a 24-year-old publication, right? So ये साइंस में पब्लिश हुआ था. ठीक है. Unlike most scientific discoveries restricted to a geeky bunch of professionals, these studies have generated an interest in the excavation work. The on-site team of the Archaeological Survey of India that aims to protect, conserve and discover the country's tangible and intangible heritage says after the study results were published, the number of lay people showing up to see the work they are doing is now between 100 and 150 daily. The curious include students from schools and colleges from Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and number of foreign visitors. At Rakhigarhi, the professorial Sanjay Manjul, chief archaeologist and head of the ASI team working on site, is excited after knowing this news. Unperturbed by Haryana's dry afternoon, heat, Manjul walks from mount to mount, describing in detail what each one has thrown up so far. That means he is the chief head of the ASI, and he visited the site and was very excited and points out cultural cues like fire altars and sacrificial pits and presence of animal figurines, bulls, pigs, and tigers. Other antiquities include a variety of terracotta toys and jewelry, shell and stone ornaments, stone and copper tools. And so, friends, that is the importance of this news, that this DNA analysis information is going to be a big debate in the history, and it is going to change our history textbook. On ground, the deep site is like something out of movie. There are dusty mounds, about 15 workers digging, and a few SI archaeologists supervising with a campsite where everyone, including Manju, lives. There is nothing else around. ये बहुत ही एलोन साइट है, वहाँ इसके अलावा कुछ है नहीं, यहाँ बस कैंप लगा हुआ है, एक्सक्वेशन वर्क चल रहा है. The people of Rakhigarhi are delighted that their town is important. So this is one of the archaeological sites that is very important. Villagers show that the way to the site with excitement. A farmer village, but Sarpanch says he hopes that when the museum is complete, resident of his village will get employment. So this exhibition may open the new chance of employment and on mount 2, and all the information you can see that which has been identified as center of industrial activity throughout the various phases of exhibition here includes evidence of kiln for pottery production and tools for a laboratory industry for semi-precious stones. Mount 2, located in the southwest, appears to have a 14-meter high citadel, large podium, two sacrificial pit chambers, a granary, a market complex, house complex, sage and two deep wells. तो अलग अलग माउंट में अलग अलग चीजें मिली हैं, आप देख सकते हैं. So way back in 1950, the Survey of India (ASI) is precursor. So first documented a peculiar mound across the landscape of Rakhigarhi. The site was first added to the archaeological data in 1968 and 1969 and has been subject to excavation by the ASI between 1997 and 2000 and by the Deccan College of Postgraduate Research Institute in collaboration with the State Archaeological Department of Haryana between 2011 and 2016. So the excavated material is with the Haryana State Archaeological Department, which the ASI says will be soon be a part of a museum they are building at the site. So now the news is that a new museum is going to be built up at the site Rakhigarhi in the Haryana. According to Manjul, cultural continuity is established through all these excavations, even if scientists set aside the DNA findings. So इस सब चीजों से एक तो कल्चरल कंटिन्यूटी का पता चलता है, भले ही जो डीएनए फाइंडिंग्स को साइड भी कर दें तो हमें एक तो पता चला है कल्चरल कंटिन्यूटी हमारी स्टैब्लिश्ड हो गई है, ये हम कहीं दूर से नहीं आए हैं, यहाँ ही से हैं. ठीक है, वी आर नॉट एलियन, आर्यंस वर नॉट एलियन. A whole lot of these remains can be correlated with the Vedic culture, like the fire altars and sacrificial pits. These findings, fire altars and sacrificial pits, also emphasize the things that these sites are already related with the Vedic culture. Some scientists say yes. Neeraj Rai, scientist with the Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences, was one of the lead authors in the two genome projects. He says it is true that Harappan ancestry is present in most populations of India. But he also says that at present local population of Rakhigarhi and most Indian population have a significant part of the stable DNA in their genetic. So there is some different views also. What was earlier told in the history textbook. So this is the thing, sometimes up to 20%. So the summary of the cell article, of which Rai is a lead author, says these individuals had a little, if any, stable pastoralist related ancestry, showing that it was not ubiquitous in Northwest South Asia during the IBC, Indus Valley Civilization, as it is today. According to Rai, this is because some migration took place from the steppe region after 1500 BCE and until about 500 BCE. These people intermingled with local populations. Both papers stated that the steppe pastoral came to India between 2000 BC to 1500 BC. He says the Rakhigarhi excavations show a cultural continuity of over 5000 years. Though there was scientific infusion after 1500 BC. तो इनका कहना है कि राखीगढ़ी एक्सकेवेशन जो है कल्चरल कंटिन्यूटी 5000 साल से, मतलब 4600 ईयर तो हमारे स्केलेटन ही बता रहा है, उससे भी पहले का जो है इनके इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं. देयर वाज जेनेटिक इन्फ्यूजन आफ्टर 1500 BC के बाद जो है जो लोकल जो पीपल जो है इंटरमिंगल हुए और थोड़ा सा उनके अंदर जीन का जो है इन्फ्यूजन हुआ, मिक्सिंग हुआ. Here we have very good evidence of the development of culture from 6000 BC. This site is very important to understand the early development of the Indian culture. That is the reason why Rakhigarhi excavation site is important so much. This is an assessment archaeologists working on the excavation site agree with Professor Vasant Sindhe, former Vice Chancellor of Deccan College, University of Pune, who led some of the most important excavation work here, also agrees. So this is the Harpan house interspersed with the late medieval burials in Rakhigarhi. You can see the findings. Sindhe, who is also a co-author of this cell study, says there are genetic and archaeological indications that the Harappan and Vedic cultures are the same. Though more research needs to be done, this Harappa site has laid the base of Indian cultural civilization. What we today follow is more or less a Harappan lifestyle. Many knowledge systems and traditions were introduced by the Harappans and have continued for 5000 years, so and so on. Some scholars say no. The NCERT clarifies in the textbook that more research is required on the relationship between the Harappan and the Vedic people. The crucial question now is if Vedic and Harappan cultures are synonymous, how does that explain the development and use of Sanskrit, the language of the Rig Veda, considered the oldest book of the Vedic literature, as you know, and the civilization? There is no evidence of the language at the Rakhigarhi site. Historian Romila Thapar, in a book co-authored by several others in 2019, which of us are Aryans, says that the standard chronology of what is called the Vedic period is taken to be from roughly 1500 to 500 BC. So Vedic period जो है हमारा 1500 से लेकर के 500 BC तक है. This is the period of the composition of the first Veda, the Rig Veda, right? And then the later ones, the Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, and finally the Atharva Veda. She goes on to say the history of this period has become central to a political ideology that insists on the Aryan cultures of the Vedas being the foundational culture of India and of the Aryans, therefore being entirely indigenous to the subcontinent and its earliest inhabitants. This is being projected as the popular explanation of how it all began, especially in northern India. However, it tends to be set aside by most historians. So, as per this latest data, according to linguistic scholars, classical Sanskrit has emerged from the Indo-Aryan language Rigvedic Sanskrit, in which the text is written. It has been believed until now that it was the steppe migrants who brought in the Indo-Aryan languages, a subsection of the Indo-Iranian branch of the Indo-European language family. So, friends, I think I have discussed the importance of this news and about some details about the Rakhigarhi excavation site of the Archaeological Survey of India. If you have found this information helpful, please like the video and share this video with your friends. And if you are new in this channel, please subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching the Hirak IAS YouTube channel. Thank you.